Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. It's July, so this is our seventh free resource Friday. I appreciate you all being here. We're going to be welcoming Sarah in to talk about her organization and how she's involved in Head Start, and how you might be able to get involved and support her program as well. So I will go ahead and pass it over to Sarah. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining, for having me here this morning. So I am Sarah Ruppel, and I am the state president of the General Federation of Women's Clubs Pennsylvania. We are an international women's organization dedicated to community service and helping people by volunteering. Um, so basically, what we do is we help people. We are non-political, we are non-religious, and worldwide we have about 80,000 members. And in Pennsylvania, I have 46 clubs. We range in age from 18 to, I have one lady who is 103, God bless her, and she is still, yeah, she is still going strong. Um, and every president during their 2-year term gets to pick a project in addition to the various other things that we're involved with. So we regularly promote libraries and we do a lot with food banks. But my project over the next 2 years is to help with early intervention. And so my theme, which is behind me, is High Five, Help Kids Thrive. And it's all about kiddos 0 to 5. And specifically, um, Head Start. I really wanted to, I know that there is a lot of resources out there for little kids and differently abled kiddos, but I love the mission of Head Start because of who it helps and the families that it helps, because they are the people that need it the most and very often don't get it in the way that other places might get it. So over the next 2 years, my hope is to teach the Pennsylvania Club women to work with Head Start and to learn about early intervention. And we've devised a way to do that with the five themes. So everything's kind of going in fives. Um, and so we're going to do that through arts, where we're going to touch on creative play and using fingers and toes and everything to kind of get kids out there and having fun. Health and wellness, where we're going to talk about playful and energy and um, you know good food choices and also food allergies. I suffer from a lot of allergies, and I know that that's an age where a lot of kiddos are learning about them and families are learning about them. And then depending on the economic background of the families, they might have a harder time getting those foods, that are for allergies, or if they've got like gluten sensitivities and whatnot, because they cost more. So we're going to focus on that. Education and libraries, and that is a big part of our organization. We were credited with founding 75% of the nation's libraries in the early 1900s, our organization. So, reading and helping people get access to books is a huge part of what this project is going to be. And then the fourth is environment, where we want kiddos to get outside and play in the dirt, learn about pollinators, learn about where their food can come from, that kind of thing. And then we have a category called civic engagement, which is basically where we help a lot with food banks. And I have asked them to focus on food banks and getting things to kiddos that are for the family, but specifically with under five. So that might include some more toddler friendly foods, that might include birthday bags, the birthday boxes for food banks. So that's kind of the overall project. And we always have a main partner. And so I believe it was 2 years ago now, I called Brandy and I was like, I want to help Head Start. I don't know how to do it, but this is my, you know, thought going on here. And so over the past 2 years, her and my project chairman and I have come up with ways to help. So our ladies are going to funnel it through those 5 categories, but the end goal is to help Head Start. And I want to stop and just say that while we have ideas, I truly want to help you all. So you are encouraged, welcome, please give us feedback. If we have this great idea, but you're going to think, well, there's no way that I don't know how to make that work, that doesn't help us, then I want to know that. And I am very open to your feedback. You're the experts. I have a heart for the young kids and especially for the Head Start in that area. But you are the experts in how and what you need help with and how we can help. My One of the things that we have coming up next week, we have a summer conference, and at that summer conference, we are collecting markers, crayons, supplies, and backpacks, which are then going to Brandy will be there to speak to with us, and they're going to then be given to some local centers. So that's just one way that we're helping. Our members love to collect stuff. They love to, like, they've already been, ever since they heard about this project, they have been out buying kids' books, and a lot of them have been buying kids' socks because they like to buy little kids' socks and underwears. And we know that, especially with this age group, that's probably a need. So those are some of the things that we can do to help. A lot of my members are retired teachers or nurses. And so I know with some of the different regulations, it's hard to physically be in a classroom environment with you all. But if there was a way to do that and you had a need, you needed somebody to come for story time or for this or that, my ladies would be very happy to do that. These are the kind of women that would do that. So really, we just want to help with Head Start. So I'm going to pause there. I have more to share with you, but does anybody have any questions or comments? Has anybody heard of us before?
I see a lot of no's. We've never heard of you before.
Yep. We always say we're the best kept secret. Okay, well, is anybody excited about what you've heard so far? That we got. Okay. So I'd like to just share a couple of fun facts about our organization. We were actually founded in 1890 by a woman named Jane Cunningham Crowley. She was a journalist, and she wanted to go to a journalistic conference to hear Mark Twain speak. They would not let her in because she was a woman, even though she was a published journalist and had written all these stories. They wouldn't let her in. So 2 years later, with Mark Twain's mother, she founded this organization, originally focused on literacy and making everybody get a chance to be heard and access to books. And because Mark Twain's mother was involved, he came and he spoke, and there were 2,500 women that he spoke to. So that's how we were founded. So we've always had determination, a little spit, a little vinegar, like, we figure out a way to get things done. Things that are of most interest as far as little kiddos is We were instrumental in lobbying to get the um, child labor laws passed. And we also then several years later were instrumental in lobbying the various food and drug administrations to help get food laws passed and so that people knew what was in their food. Um, several years later, we one of our women in California was responsible for the highway lines that you see painted because where she lived, there were so many accidents. And so she lobbied and she is responsible for those white lines that you see on the highways. And another one that I really like that has to do with kiddos is we also were instrumental in lobbying for seatbelts and then car seat laws. So we've got over 100 years of history. There's a lot that I could share, but those are my favorite facts as it pertains to my project. We also work with, as an international organization, we are in every state and we are in 28 countries. So we work with St. Jude's Children's Hospital. We work with March of Dimes. I'm sure you've all heard of March of Dimes. We work with Heifer International. So we're going to be using those organizations to also help us. Heifer International has a really big foundation right now with pollinators. And so we're going to use them to help us with that kind of thing. But like I said, really, it's about educating our members. We have learned that the summer is what they refer to as trauma season for injuries. So, another part of what we would like to do is to talk about childhood safety, um, especially water safety and drowning, because as you know, most people don't think about that unless they've got kids in a pool or something, but bathtub drownings and just water safety in general is another thing that we're going to touch on um, for these 2 years. So I was installed as the state president in May, and I go until 2028. And the goal is over those 2 years to make our members more educated and aware of early childhood and ways that they can help and the importance of it. And we are already aware of the importance of it, but like I said, nobody nobody thinks about Head Start. When you think about early childhood in a lot of nonprofit organizations, you're thinking about, maybe going to a library and participating in a Dr. Seuss readathon or something, which is great. But we don't think about the families that are on the fringes and the families that, mom and dad are working 3 and 4 jobs, and the kiddos might come to school hungry and not clean, and we don't think about that, but we need to think about that. And so that is my goal. My goal is to really get our people thinking about the work that Head Start does, um, the importance of it for the children involved, but also the importance of it for the families, for mom and for dad, and for I would expect, I don't know the statistic, but I would expect that a lot of your kids are being brought into school by grandma and grandpa because that's who's raising the kids. Yeah. And so I want to teach my ladies about that so that they can in turn help you. Because when my 2 years are done, the goal is to have planted some seeds so that if you all are willing, the partnership can continue. Next week, we at our conference, we're going to have representatives from all of our clubs in the state there. They're going to be given a list. Brandy can talk a little bit more about that, but they're going to be given a list of where our clubs are and where your centers are. Is that correct, Brandy? Um,
Yeah, so the programs that are throughout the state are now connected with a Head Start program. They don't have that information quite yet, but next Friday, that's part of our goal. So that if you have one of their partners in your county, that they will be then reaching out to probably your director in order to make those connections and to see how this partnership will look. Sarah said that they have lots of ideas already, but we're really going to encourage any individualization and what this could look like. So they're coming to you with ideas, but they're also very excited to hear your ideas. So next Friday during that conference, I will be presenting overall as a state association, representing all of the Head Start programs. But then we specifically have somebody coming from Lancaster Lebanon Early Head Start to represent Early Head Start programs. And then we have somebody coming from the CAP of Lancaster program coming to represent Head Start programs. So we'll also have that perspective as well. And then we'll take any questions or anything like that. And then we'll probably do some introductory Zoom meetings to connect programs with Sarah's programs.
yeah, and if I can, hopefully, I've shared some interesting facts about us, and we are always happy and looking for new members. Um, if anybody is interested in joining us, feel free to contact me. We love new members. We take people where they are, and this is our organization just thrives on different ideas. Our motto is unity and diversity, diversity in our members, diversity in our projects, and us coming together globally to affect change. But the one thing that I really want to leave you with is that um, I know that you go to a lot of seminars and trainings and you get talked to. I don't want to talk to you. I want you to understand that we really want to partner with you. So when one of my clubs calls you and says, hey, we have this, can you use it or can we do it? And if you can't, it's okay to say no and say, but what we do need is this. At this conference that we're going to have next week, which if anybody is in or near Lancaster, you are welcome to pop in and see how it's going. But the theme of the conference is the power of play. And so we're going to have, we're going to play kids games. We're going to play pin the tail on the cow because I have the dairy princesses coming. We're going to talk about, the importance of milk of different forms for kiddos, but so we're going to do pin the tail on the cow, and I love Winnie the Pooh, so we're going to do Tigger Says, and we've got finger puppets that we're going to do. So we're really for our ladies to embrace the fun of the magic and wonder of early childhood is my goal. So they're going to be pumped up, and then we're going to give them this list, and so we're going to give them ideas, but what might work in Lancaster, is not the same as what you might need in Beaver County or, in the Philadelphia areas. So, yes, it's going to be a great time. I'm very excited. So yeah, if I could leave you with just it's that is, like I said, I know you probably have a lot of well-meaning people that approach you, but I don't want this to be lip service. Like we really, really, truly want to help you. And I, as a leader, really my heart is in Head Start and the littles who don't have all of the resources that others have. And that's just every kid should have that. And so I would encourage you when my ladies call you or your directors or whomever, we're a very workable group. Like I said, we have a lot of, I would say like 75% of our ladies are retired teachers or nurses. And so we love kids, and I really would like this to be workable for you and us, and that we can help you.
Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate your time. I'm wondering if there's any questions from anybody. Once we have that meeting next Friday, I will be connecting with the different programs to make sure that they're aware of what's going on and who to contact. So if you are in one of those counties, and it's most of them, Luzerne, Montgomery, Lancaster, Lebanon, Bucks, those are just the ones that come to the top of my head. But if you are in one of those counties, I will start to work on connecting you and getting you associated with Sarah and her colleagues.
And we have, like everybody, we have a Facebook page and a website. So feel free to follow along. We'll have all kinds of pictures on our social medias next week. So it's gfwcpennsylvania.org is our website.
And maybe Sarah, if you want to make sure you email those to me when I send out everybody's certificates, I can include those in the email.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Okay.
So,
All right, everyone. Well, I appreciate your time this morning. We will come back together August 7th, and we're going to be meeting with a CERT, who is an autism resource. So August 7th will be our next time together, but I appreciate everybody's time. Thank you, Sarah.
thank you.